Hello and welcome back to my channel. The Financial Modeling World Cup has just wrapped up its fourth stage of the 2026 season, which means we are already halfway through. And this stage is on the theme of acquisitions. 3 cases written by Sameer Jagetia. My apologies, Sameer, if I pronounced that wrong. Let's take a look at this first one, this speeded up case. Lambda Capital Partners is a special purpose acquisition company that completed its IPO in 2024. Lambda Capital Partners has identified MacroLogic as its acquisition target. Now let me read down to this bottom paragraph. You are an analyst at the SPAC sponsor evaluating the basic transaction mechanics. Your task is to calculate key metrics including trust proceeds, pro-forma share count, implied valuation multiples, and pro-forma net cash. Now over here I have my Excel sheet with the 5 answers for this case. As it's a speeded up case, it's supposed to be really quick. So come along with me and let me show you how I solved this case. Here we go. Alright, question number 1 asks, what is the trust value per public share after 1 year? So if I go back to this assumption sheet and I go to the instructions, because the instructions also has hints for every question. So question 1, IPO proceeds from public shareholders are put into a trust which will accrue interest until the acquisition date. The acquisition will be exactly 1 year after the IPO. Right, so that is the amount that was put in. So let's do IPO price per share, which is that amount, interest rate, which is that amount, and what was the question? The question was trust value after 1 year. Okay, oops. Just put that in here. So that will be this times 1 plus that interest rate there. That should be 10.375. Question 2, what is a trust value post redemptions? All right, let me go ahead and just copy that so I can put it on this sheet here so I don't have to go back later. And let's take a look at the instructions again to see how that's calculated. So there's a lot of information here, but I just generally follow this calculation. Assuming there are 10 million public shares and 25% of the public shares are redeemed, there will be 7.5 million public shares remaining post-redemption. The redemption amount will be at $11 per share, continuing the example from question 1, resulting in a payment of the trust $27.5 million to redeem the shares. The remaining trust value post-redemption is 82.5. The trust value of 110 million before redemptions, less 27.5 million for redemptions. Right. So this is 110 million. This is after the interest, I believe, right? So here we see this example that they give the amount post-interest. So we're going to calculate our amount post-interest and then also figure out how many shares were redeemed, how many shares were left, and how much cash is left. Okay, so let's go ahead and do trust value post interest. So that'll be this 200,000 times 1 plus that interest rate there. And then we will do shares redeemed. That is this 20 million shares issued times the 55% redemption. That's going to give us this amount. And then cash spent on redeemed shares is this times this 10.375. Cash remaining post redemption. Then we'll take this minus the amount that we spent on the redemption. We get 93.375 million there. Question 3. What is the pro forma basic share count at closing, including shares issued to the target? All right, pro forma basic share count at closing. Let's copy that. And let's see what the instructions are for this one. Back to the instructions. The pro forma share count will include the number of public shares outstanding post-redemption, plus the sponsor shares issued as part of the promote, plus shares issued as part of the PIPE, plus the shares issued to the target. All right, public shares. All right, so let me just do this little screen shift here so it's going to be easier for me to see. So we are doing public shares outstanding post-redemption, sponsor shares issued, shares issued as PIPE, shares issued to target. All right, and then that should get us this total there. Okay, so let's go back and look at this sheet here. So public shares outstanding post-redemption. Well, there are 11 million shares redeemed out of the 20 million that there were issued, right? So that'll leave us at 9 million shares post. Sponsor share issues, that is already listed here as part of the given information. Shares issued as PIPE, but we have the PIPE investment and the PIPE price per share. So we can divide these two to get the number of PIPE shares issued. And the shares issued to target is also listed right there as well. So the total number of shares I have is 74 million there. Question 4. What is the implied enterprise value over LTM revenue acquisition multiple for the target? Whew. All right. So that's the information we're getting for question 4. And let's see how to solve that. There we go. All right. The valuation multiple for the target standalone, not the pro forma company. Calculate the implied enterprise value of the target as shares issued to the target times $10 plus target debt minus target cash. Use $10 as a reference price, not the trust value per share, which has grown in interest, then divide by LTM revenue. All right, so once again, we have the formula there. So let me just see, can I zoom that out just a little bit and still kind of see most of it? Okay, that's probably the best we're going to do. Okay, so question 4, we need to take shares issued to target IPO price. So the IPO price was the $10, not the $10,375. Shares issued to target is listed right there, so we can use that. Plus target debt less target cash. And I believe those two numbers, if I just go over here, those two numbers are listed right there. Right. Okay, so plus target debt, we'll add that, minus target cash, we'll put there. So implied enterprise value should be this times the $10, which will give us the value from equity, plus target debt minus target cash. Now it's already entered as a negative number, so I just put the plus there. So that's the implied enterprise value. LTM revenue is already listed here. So let's say acquisition multiple should be this divided by the LTM revenue, where I get 8.4677, which is right there. And finally, question 5. What is the pro forma net cash position after the transaction closes? All right, so pro forma net cash position after transaction closes. Let's see what we have for that. And here we go. The pro forma net cash position will include the value of the trust post redemptions plus cash from the PIPE investment plus cash from the target less debt from the target. Okay, so let's go ahead and do value of trust post redemption, which I believe should be here. Cash from PIPE investment, which is that listed? Well, that's listed over here, right? PIPE investment, $100 million there. And then plus target cash, which we've already seen from question 4, right there. Less target debt, which is also from question 4. And I'm going to put this as a negative number. Right, there we go. And that should be everything. So let's sum this up all together. I get $168 million, which is listed right there. And that is how you solve this first case. Now, out of the 3 cases, this is probably the only one that actually referred to acquisitions. Hopefully you'll see these in the next 2 videos if I ever get them uploaded. But it was really nice for this one that a lot of the key information was listed in the sheet, including the key calculations. So you just follow the instructions and it should get you where you need to go. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this really helped you a lot. If you've attempted the case yourself, thank you so much for watching. And if you like this, please be sure to like the video and subscribe to my channel, as I'll try to get more of these videos out there. Take care, and I'll see you for the next one.
It's the Excel. Who is going to win? It's the Excel World Champion. spreadsheet